kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. I'm Mike Timoni up in the booth as we wrap up Daytona week and head off into Southern California. Last week, we saw Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, and Corey Kroll finish 1, 2, 3 at Daytona. This week is going to be a little bit different, a little more strategy playing out as they get rolling here through qualifying. Let's go ahead and jump on in, take a look at drivers out on the track right now. Ronnie Martin, the first one through, get a 40.20, but that went away pretty quickly here as we're watching Ira Kohlhaas come through the start-finish line. His first time by. Let's see what he's going to throw up here, and he will go at fourth quickest right now, 40.47. Quickest on the track is Sean Dunaway with a 40.06. Coming through second time. Let's see how much faster he goes. 39.93. Broke that 40-second barrier. Lee Campbell out on track in the 14 machine. Halfway down the backstretch here as Ira Kohlhaas takes the top of the board with a 39.77. Lee Campbell coming through turn 4, headed to the outside wall. See where he's going to wind up here as he comes by the start finish line to complete his first hot lap. 40.04, so not bad for the 14 machine. Dennis Kane, first time by, was a 40.13. We'll see if he goes any faster as he brings that number 4 forward to the start finish line for the second time. .39.92, so still rolling through pretty quickly here. Austin Smith in the 23 Toyota, first time by, was a 40.01. Should go a little bit faster this time as he's about halfway down the backstretch here. Lee Campbell with a 39.87, so all these drivers improving about 2 to 3 tenths on their second lap. So let's see if Austin Smith can go top of the board as he comes out of turn number 4, headed to that start finish line. Oh, 39.87, good enough for P4. Andrew Teff completed his second lap with a 40.21. Corey Kroll, first time by, was a 40.24. See if he can get that number 20 machine any more speed as he's coming through the backstretch now. Out of turn 4, headed to the start finish line, and Corey's gonna post a time of 40.09, good enough for 9th quickest right now. Todd Slauson with the 22 machine trying to get his first lap in, and he'll go 40.12 on his first time by. Right now, Ira Kohlhaas has about a tenth of a second lead on everybody else. And everybody else is pretty bunched up there behind him. Clausen coming through turn 4 now, headed back to the start finish line. Dives down, get as much speed as he can. 40 flat there for Todd Slauson. Josh McNeil in the 82 machine with a 40.05. Michael Smith, first time by, a 40.22. Have a few drivers just getting started on their qualifying bids here. Evening, Josh. Evening, Corey. Evening to everybody joining us out on YouTube. Michael Smith closing out his second hot lap here. See what he can do, see if he improves his time just a little bit, up to 13th quickest with a 40.14. Brandon Puffenbarger in that 5 ride is going to try and take his first lap. See these drivers drive clear down on the apron trying to get as much speed as they can, and he goes 5th quickest on his first lap with a 39.90. I believe that's the fastest lap we've seen on lap number 1. If he can touch Ira Kohlhaas here as he comes down through the start finish line. Puffenbarger's time is going to be a 39.85, so still not quick enough as Ira Kohlhaas is still on the pole. Aaron Marquis finished his qualifying bids with a 40.11. Jeremy Carter, second time by, was a 40.34. Kirby Wainscott back there as well. Carlos Victoria. Brandon Sanfilippo in that 12 machine. 39.86 on his first lap, so he definitely put in the work here. We'll see if his second lap's going to be any quicker. A little bit quicker, 39.84. So he found all the speed he could find in the first lap. Alex Teff just completing his second lap. He goes second quick with a 39.80. And Daniel Honeycutt comes in second lap, steals the pole with a 39.68. So that is all the drivers here. Daniel Honeycutt's going to take the pole from Ira Kohlhaas on the last second of the guys qualifying here. So get these guys set up as we get set to roll. As we are getting set to run here at Auto Club. I know a lot of drivers are sad that it is closing and changing directions. We'll see what they actually wind up doing to it, but they've already started deconstruction. They are jumping in their cars. We're going to get set for a start here. Bring up the grid. We've got Daniel Honeycutt, Ira Kohlhaas, row 1. Row 2, Alex Teft and Brandon Sanfilippo. Brandon Puffenbarger and Kinsley Smith back there in row 3. Row 4, Lee Campbell and Austin Smith. We got Dennis Kane and Sean Dunaway. We got Todd Slauson and Chris Blasi in row 6. Row 7, Joshua Neal and Truth Hope, Corey Kroll and Ronnie Martin make up row 8. Row 9, Aaron Marquis and Michael Smith. Andrew Teft and Brandon Honeycutt bring out row 10. Row 11 is Ricky Rowland Jr. and Jeremy Cartier. Kirby Wayne Scott and Carlos Victoria make up row number 12. So that is where they start. Where they finish, we will find out. As we are set to go around this 2-mile D-shaped oval here. 66 degrees track and air temperature. So we will get them rolling here. Be getting ready to roll off. We are set for 80 laps here around Auto Club. Be 65% fuel, 4 sets of tires in the pits, if I'm not mistaken. Daniel Honeycutt's gonna lead them to the green flag. Probably going to see pit stops happen somewhere around lap 20 or so. But get set for some action from Fontana as pace car heads them down the backstretch. Drivers to watch are definitely Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger. See these guys make some moves throughout the race. Pace car makes that left-hand turn, and we will be underway here. Daniel Honeycutt with the button leads them into the Geico restart zone. And we are underway at Auto Club Speedway in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. Ira Kohlhaas hanging right on the right rear of Daniel Honeycutt as we still have two lines. Looks like Lee Campbell's kind of floating up into the middle lane trying to find a groove there. They're almost 4 wide. We have a couple drivers not quite up to speed, and we have a couple guys going around. Looks like Truth Hoke, and we are under caution already here. Take a look and see what happened here. Oh, we're still green. We're still green here. Looks like they were far enough in the back. I'll have to take a look and see what happened. I want these guys to get sorted out, and then we'll go back and take a look. Hensley Smith, Austin Smith, Lee Campbell, all kind of battling it out back here. Josh McNeil. Like we got drivers headed to pit lane that were involved in that incident that did not bring out the caution. Andrew Teff, Truth Hoke, Brandon Honeycutt, Aaron Marquis all involved there. As these guys have kind of settled down, let's go back and take a look, see kind of what brought that out here. Not sure what's going on with the 14 there. Go back and take a look here. That was 15 or 59 there. He just got sideways, got Marquis, Teft, Honeycutt, all got collected in it. Looks like everybody got going, so that's what brought it back, or kept it under green there. Carlos Victoria fastest one on the track with the 39.99. Ira Kohlhaas took the lead, and he has not looked back now. While we're watching that, let's see if we can take a look here. Daniel Honeycutt, Brandon Puffenbarger closing in. Alex Teft sliding in behind Puffenbarger there. Got Sam Filippo up on the high side. Lee Campbell bouncing around back there a little ways too. We're through 6 laps here. Chris Blasi, Sean Dunaway. Everybody towards the back kind of got single filed out here. Josh McNeil, Ronnie Martin, Corey Kroll, Ricky Rowland. They're side by side up here battling for second and third. Puffenbarger, Kohlhaas, Honeycutt, the top three. It looks like Austin Smith's trying to make a challenge on the outside of Daniel Honeycutt as they're three wide back behind him. Lee Campbell kind of stuck in the middle. Chris Bellazzi was down on the low side. Sean Dunaway in the 0-1 trying to make a run on the high side right behind Kinsley Smith. Still have two lines formed up from third place on back. Looks like Austin Smith's going to take the high road, try and get a run coming off the corner to get in front of Daniel Honeycutt, but Daniel Honeycutt's still holding tough down on that low to mid line there. Got Alex Teff behind him, Kinsley Smith as well. Sanfilippo up to the high side. As Austin Smith clears Daniel Honeycutt, goes down to the low line, starts running his preferred line, which seems to be inside and outside. Honeycutt also floated up a little bit there. Alex Teff staying right on that white line as they come through 1 and 2. And just stuck on the low line. Going a little bit faster than Lee Campbell, can't slide up and get in line to arc that corner the way he's been going. Like Kinsley Smith slides in behind Alex Teff. Brandon Sanfilippo also down there. Sanfilippo makes his way inside the top 5 for the first time tonight. 10 laps in. Ira Kohlhaas is still driving away. He's got almost a second lead over Brandon Puffenbarger and Austin Smith as they made pretty quick work to get up inside the top 3 here. Alex Teff is trying to make his way past Brandon Sanfilippo, but both of them seem to be slowed up by Lee Campbell there. Lee Campbell running P5 at the moment. Alex Teff slides up in front of Sanfilippo before pulling back down. Headed down that front stretch, gets all the way down on that apron as they work their way through lap number 11 now. See if we can take a look here from Kinsley Smith's nose here as he is battling Sanfilippo. Alex Teff slides down, and you can just see how much of a drive they have as they're side by side through 3 and 4, headed to the start-finish line. John Dunaway goes from the high line down to the low line. We've seen it that way. Most of the drivers seem to be favoring that line, going as high as they can in the corner, and then when they come out, try and get to the apron as they come by that start-finish line. Like Daniel Honeycutt was able to get by Austin Smith, but Austin Smith is not going to let him go away that easy, as Smith is now trying to close in on the back of that 72 ride. Alex Teff, Lee Campbell starting to get side by side as well. Lee Campbell has a little bit better drive coming off the corner. So Alex Teff will slide in behind them. Back behind them a little ways, you have Dennis Kane down on the inside battling with Chris Blasey as they are side by side. Just see how close they're battling up here between Sanfilippo, Teft, Smith, and Campbell. 14 laps in here as they're coming down the backstretch. Still side by side, Alex Teft, Lee Campbell battling for that top 5 position here. As the drivers behind him seem to get almost in a single file line as they come down the backstretch. Ira Kohlhaas still leading the race, but Brandon Puffenbarger has closed that gap to within a 1/10 of a second. He is all over that rear bumper there. Take a look from the nose of the MVP Roofing and Restoration number 5 machine. See Ira Kohlhaas float up the track a little bit. Brandon's going to try and drive it in here and start getting a little bit closer to that rear quarter. Just can't quite get there, still within a 1/10 of a second. Daniel Honeycutt about a half second back from this battle as he is just watching it unfold in his mirror. Kinsley Smith, Lee Campbell side by side as Sam Filippo and Teft both got by. Dennis Kane rolling in here as well. Ira Kohlhaas floating up, trying to stay up there in the high line. Seems to be holding pretty well here as he's lost the lead, though, to Puffenbarger. And Daniel Honeycutt is closing in as well. Go back through the field a little bit. We got Kinsley Smith, Lee Campbell, Dennis Kane all battling for top 10. Aaron Marquis working his way. Nope, that's not Aaron. That is the 22 of Todd Slauson. Chris Blasi and Ronnie Martin there. We got Kroll, Joshua Neal, Michael Smith all hanging out towards the back. Jeremy Carter in the 26 Toyota. Ricky Rowland and Kirby Wayne Scott. We got the drivers involved in the lap 1 incident. Andrew Teft, Truth Hoke, Brandon Honeycutt, and Aaron Marquis. But Puffenbarger was able to get by Ira Kohlhaas, and now he is 0.3 of a second to the good of Daniel Honeycutt, who just was able to make the pass on Ira Kohlhaas, working through lap 18 here. Austin Smith, Alex Teft, Brandon Sanfilippo are the top 6. Dennis Kane just made the pass on Lee Campbell. Like Lee Campbell might be going the wrong way. Maybe used up his tires a little bit early there as Todd Slauson was down on the inside trying to make the pass, but Campbell came down, so Slauson goes up to the high line. Is going to get behind Dennis Kane, try and get a run on that 14 machine. On board now with Slauson. See how close these guys can get to the wall as they're coming down the backstretch. See Dennis Kane float down, get right on that white line, get a little bit of speed through the middle of the corner, but watch Slauson close the gap as they come through turn exit here. And now he is going to get a run and slide up right behind Dennis Kane as they go by the start-finish line. Lee Campbell, Sean Dunaway battling side by side as well. Lee Campbell got a little bit of a better run there coming through 1 and 2. But Dunaway did not go away, and he is slowly making the pass here. Lawson and Kane are now side by side. You'll see these guys start sliding up the track just a little bit as these tires are wore. I mean, they've been out here 20 laps already. So just a quarter of the way through the race here at Auto Club. And Brandon Puffenbarger and Daniel Honeycutt are battling out up here for the lead. Honeycutt on the inside, Puffenbarger on the high side. Honeycutt able to clear. We'll see if Puffenbarger's going to try and cross him. Looks like he won't. He'll stay right on his bumper as these two teammates are trying to increase the margin back to Ira Kohaus, who is back by almost half a second. Austin Smith about 0.6 behind Kohaus, and then you have Alex Teft about another half second back as well. And that's the top 5 as they run on track right now. We'll see when pit stops are going to start to cycle through. I'd imagine people are going to try and make it just a 2-stop race, so Brandon Puffenbarger still just kind of cruising about a 0.4 back of Honeycutt. Honeycutt rolls through the middle of the corner. Ira Kohaus, Austin Smith, Alex Teft, Kinsley Smith back there as well. Brandon Sanfilippo, Todd Slauson, Dennis Kane, Sean Dunaway make up that top 10. Lee Campbell going the wrong way, but we'll see if he can make a pit adjustment. He was fast early. He was up towards the front, only down 4 positions from where he started after going towards the front there. Corey Kroll also back here. See if we can take a look inside Corey's ride here. See how he's driving that 20 Toyota. You just see how much wheel he has to put in there as these tires have worn in, trying to stay right in the middle of the track. And as I say that, pit stops have started. Daniel Honeycutt, Brandon Puffenbarger both head in. Turns the lead back over to Ira Kohaus in that 29 Chevy. Austin Smith behind him. Alex Teft, Kinsley Smith. Kinsley Smith going to the inside of Alex. Trying to get another position here. Imagine we're going to have several takers on this lap. Kinsley Smith and Alex Teft slide up the track. Brandon Sanfilippo back there as well. We got Todd Slauson, Dennis Kane, Sean Dunaway, Lee Campbell, and Ronnie Martin. See how many more laps they're going to go. Austin Smith, Kinsley Smith are the top 3 as they start getting some lap traffic between them. Alex Teft, Brandon Sanfilippo, got Kroll back here as well. Like we're down to 11 that need to make a pit stop. Kirby Wainscott being the last of those drivers. Jeremy Carter, Joshua Neal. We got a few drivers down towards the apron here as they're coming off a pit lane. Like Michael Smith trying to get down. He's going to come in and make his pit stop. Austin Smith in, Ira Kohaus in, Kinsley Smith, Brandon Sanfilippo all in. So we're left with 4 drivers that need to make a pit stop. Alex Teft with the lead, Corey Kroll, Joshua Neal, and Jeremy Carter all still out on track. Like Alex Teft got a little bit loose there coming out of turn number 2. as he slows down. Looks like he's going to make that turn into pit lane. Corey Kroll looks like he is not. He is going to push the limit a little bit further. Seen him do it a few times here in the Racers Elite Series. Jeremy Carter's still out as well. Joshua Neal still out. I'd assume we're going to see those guys come to pit lane this time by. I don't think they could make another lap here on their fuel, but we've seen stranger things happen here as Dennis Kane flies by Corey Kroll as he is making his way down pit lane. If Jeremy Carter's going to pull in, I'd assume so. Joshua Neal already down off the track. Going to have a little fun getting into pit lane. So the effective race leader is now going to be Brandon Puffenbarger. Came down on lap 24 with Daniel Honeycutt. Puffenbarger spent almost 2 seconds less in the pits than Daniel Honeycutt did. Should see a few of the lap cars come in as well that were involved in the lap 1 incident. But with that being said, we'll let everybody get back through their pit stops and we'll take a break and we'll go side by side. You won't miss anything here on Sim Racing Media. Welcome back, everybody. You haven't missed anything. As you were away, we've seen some great battles out on track. Go back up front. Let's see if we can do a quick little rundown of the race right now. Brandon Puffenbarger up 4 spots, leading the race in that 5 machine after taking advantage of a pit stop. Daniel Honeycutt up into, or down into second place. I guess he started on the pole, so he's running P2. Todd Slauson, pit on lap 25's up 8 spots, running P3 right now, under attack from the 23 machine of Austin Smith as they go side by side. Smith up to third. Austin had a pretty good run early in that initial run, but faded back just a little ways. Todd Slauson, like I said, back into fourth. Ira Kohlhaas led a lot of the race as he started on the outside of the pole and just kind of drove away for that first part. He spent a lot more time out on the track as he last pitted on lap 27. Lee Campbell pitted on lap 25's up 1 spot's running P6 right now. Kinsley Smith, Brandon Sanfilippo both came down on lap 27. And Dennis Kane, Sean Dunaway back here as well. And you have Ronnie Martin and Alex Teft. Ronnie Martin up 5 spots, Teft down 9, but he stayed out for quite a while. He last pitted on lap 28. Corey Kroll came down on lap 29, running P13. Carlos Victoria up 10 spots, running P14 right now. Michael Smith, Joshua Neal, 15th and 16th. Jeremy Carter and Kirby Wayne Scott are going to round out the guys on the lead lap. Then we go back to Chris Blasi, Andrew Teft, Brandon Honeycutt, Aaron Marquis, and Truth Hoke back there at the back after being involved in an early race incident. But that is where we stand right now as we're about halfway through the Racers Elite Xfinity Series from Auto Club. These guys will be right back at it next week, as they're going to head to Charlotte for 105 laps around Charlotte at night. You guys want to watch them continue their run. They're also going to be here at Auto Club tomorrow night in the Next Gen Cup Series. Thanks everybody for joining us on the YouTube chat. If there's a driver you want to see or go on board with, let me know and I'll jump on their ride. Austin Smith now up into P3. Ira Kohlhaas, Todd Slauson back there. These guys come down the backstretch. Todd Slauson there. Andrew Teft trying to get back into the lucky dog position here. Open for a late race caution here. He's going to have to get by, looks like, Chris Blasi. He's got about 9 seconds behind, so he's got some work to do if he wants to get back onto that lucky dog position, but there's a driver that can do it. Andrew Teft is that driver. We'll see how Daniel Honeycutt was able to make the pass here on Brandon Puffenbarger. Let's go back in time just a little bit. It looks like just got a little loose there going into one and slid up the track, so that will take us back to the live action. Daniel Honeycutt had quite a good long run car. Austin Smith seemed to be going the wrong way. See if he can right the ship here. He is in third. Ira Kohaas hanging back there as well. Todd Slauson came out in front of Austin Smith, but is going the wrong way in a hurry here. Kinsley Smith kind of by himself. Brandon Sanfilippo almost a second back. Lee Campbell has Dennis Kane down to his inside. It's the closest battle on track right now. Kane slides up behind Campbell as they go down the backstretch. Lee Campbell trying to stay that high line, see if he can keep momentum as they come off of turn 4. Dennis Kane slides up in front of the 14, and that is going to give him the position. P8 right now for Dennis Kane. Lee Campbell going to try and cross him over as they head into turn number 1. Side by side they go. Kane with the momentum coming out of turn number 2. Like he might have got a little bit of loose, but still keeps that momentum, and he's going to keep the position. P8 right now, and he is starting to drive away from Lee Campbell. Alex Teff trying to close in. Sean Dunaway as well. They're about a half second between these two drivers back here in the back. Corey Kroll trying to close in, get inside that top 10. He's already up 3 spots from where he started. Ronnie Martin, Michael Smith also back there as well. We got Joshua Neal, Jeremy Carter. Starting to be a little battle here. About a tenth of a second separates them as well. Jeremy Carter trying to close in. Just can't quite do it as they come through 1 and 2. Carlos Victoria coming down pit lane this time by. Everybody came down between lap 24 and 29. About 33 laps left here at Auto Club. We're kind of getting spread out here on these long green flag runs that Auto Club tends to happen. Ira Kohaas about 4.5 back from the leader. Todd Slauson fading back, starting to come into the clutches of Kinsley Smith. Kinsley's about 1.5 seconds back, but he's going to have Brandon Sanfilippo to contend with momentarily. Still can't get close enough there. Dennis Kane has put Lee Campbell in his rearview mirror. And as we say that, looks like Daniel Honeycutt coming down pit lane. Looks like, see what the right call is going to be, but I'm going to say we're going to see guys try and stretch it as far as they can probably within the next 5 or 6 laps. They can get 6 laps, they'll be good to the finish. And that might be the plan for Corey Kroll, and even maybe Austin Smith. Looks like he might not have been pushing his car quite as hard as he saw these other drivers try and stretch the fuel run just a little bit. Probably get 4 or 5 more laps into that 23 Toyota before he comes down. We'll see when Brandon Puffenbarger comes down, because he came down on lap 24. So if he can make a couple more laps, it'll definitely put him more into the positive of making it to the end of the race here. Like Todd Slauson came down. Sean Dunaway is going to come down this time by. Austin Smith is still rolling. Ira Kohlhaas as well. All these guys last came down on lap 27. Coming in. Puffenbarger, Smith, Kohlhaas all out here as Puffenbarger comes in. So that's going to turn the lead over to Austin Smith. Smith and Kohlhaas both came in on lap 27. We'll see how long they're going to stay out. Puffenbarger in, Ricky Rowland Jr. in. Honeycutt made his pit stop and is back out on track. Brandon Sanfilippo, Corey Kroll. But Corey's the one that stayed out the longest of these front runners here. Stayed out to lap 29. So he definitely could roll to almost 60 in that 20 machine. Just see the banking here from the gyro cam. You can hear him slide up the track just a little bit here. Gets back on the throttle. Kinsley Smith in, Brandon Sanfilippo, Alex Teft, Ronnie Martin all coming down this time by. Austin Smith still staying out with Ira Kohlhaas right behind him. Looks like the 22 machine of Todd Slauson is right in front of Austin Smith. Slauson did make his pit stop on lap 49. So he's back on the lead lap. So Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas leading it right now. About 10 seconds back to Corey Kroll. Jeremy Carter about 15 seconds back of that. And Josh McNeil make up that top 5. Everybody spread out quite a bit here. Austin Smith, Ira Kohlhaas both coming down. Corey Kroll stays out. Corey Kroll is going to get credit for leading that lap. So Joshua Neal going to roll up here into P2. Jeremy Carter, Michael Smith. That's the top 4 now. Daniel Honeycutt did make his pit stop. He's inside the top 5. He did pit about 3 laps sooner than Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger is about 4.5 back from Daniel Honeycutt, and that is the leader of the drivers that hit pit lane. Corey Carroll still staying out as he drives right past pit entry. Michael Smith coming down. Corey Carroll has cars that made pit stops trying to get by him. We'll see if he's going to stay out or if he's going to be able to duck down behind him. It looks like he's going to let him go duck down, and 20 Toyota is headed to pit lane. Joshua Neal is probably going to head there as well as he's coming out of turn number 4. Looks like he'll get on the brakes and make that left-hand turn and head down pit lane. Jeremy Carter as well. He's already slowed down. Daniel Honeycutt's going to take over the lead. Well, looks like Joshua Neal did not go down pit lane, so he'll stay out 1 lap. Daniel Honeycutt rolling through. Daniel Honeycutt goes by Joshua Neal. So Honeycutt's going to take over the lead. The only question is, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Honeycutt has a over 3.5 second lead back to Brandon Puffenbarger, Todd Slauson, and Austin Smith as well. So we'll see what happens here if Honeycutt's going to have to come down. Puffenbarger is going to be pretty close. He came down on lap 51. And if my math is correct, he will be close. He probably only has to save about half a lap of fuel, and he should be good to go. But Corey Carroll definitely is going to have enough as he came down on lap 57, so should be set as far as fuel goes. But with that being said, we're going to step aside, go side by side one more time, and we'll bring you the finish here from Auto Club. And we are back here in the Racers Elite Xfinity Series from Auto Club. These guys are putting on a show. As you see Austin Smith drive to the high side of Todd Slauson there. Austin Smith trying to get back inside that top three. And he will do just that as they come through turn number 2, headed down that backstretch. Todd Slauson last pitted on lap 49, so we'll see how close he's going to be on fuel as well. Brandon Puffenbarger trying to close in on Daniel Honeycutt. Honeycutt doesn't look like he is saving fuel at all, as he is trying to drive away and get as far away from Brandon Puffenbarger as he can. Kinsley Smith going to round out that top 5. Brandon Sanfilippo in 6th. Ira Kojas had a good run early, but looks like pit strategy might have him back in the box a little ways. Dennis Kane back there as well. Alex Teff, Sean Dunaway racing back here inside the top 10. Corey Kroll definitely has enough fuel as he made it to lap 57. Jeremy Carter as well. So these guys all have pretty much enough fuel to make it to the end. The only question is some of these drivers that pitted on the other side of the 50. So we have 14 to go here. Daniel Honeycutt rolling down the backstretch one more time here. He's got about a little over 2.5 second lead back to Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger, though, is closing in. I don't think that 5 Chevy has to save near as much fuel. If we can go on board here with the cam here, see how Puffenbarger's getting around this track. Tries to drive as straight as he can through that front stretch. Slides up to the outside wall. Lets off the throttle, rolls the corner. Then heads down the backstretch. We can jump on board with our race leader, Daniel Honeycutt. If he's running a little bit different here. He slides up towards that outside wall. They head down the start-finish line. As I see this going on, let's jump back here with Corey Kroll and Sean Dunaway battling for that top 10 position as Kroll takes it away from Dunaway. Corey's got to battle pretty hard. He knows he has enough fuel, so he doesn't have to worry about saving any with 11 laps to go here. Dennis Kane putting in a good effort. Last pit on lap 50, so should be pretty close on fuel. Depending on how many laps he saved a little bit. A few drivers make it to 29 laps before they made pit stops, so we'll see if he can get a little bit more out of that number 4 Ford here. He's got the chicken coop racing on there, it looks like. Daniel Honeycutt rolling through. See what's going on back here with the battle, as it looks like Andrew Teft was able to get by Ricky Rowland. Still has quite a few drivers to get back. One more driver to get by to get into the lucky dog position does Andrew Teft. But Daniel Honeycutt is maintaining the 3.5 second lead over Brandon Puffenbarger. Austin Smith about a second back from Puffenbarger. Todd Slauson trying to put together a good run here as he's got about a half-second lead over Kinsley Smith. As you see Smith's drive down to the inside, see if he's going to be able to take some momentum and get this 15 machine inside the top 4 here. Like we got the 81 machine down on the inside. Sliding up the track just a little bit is the 81. Got 8 laps to go. Daniel Honeycutt still nursing that 72 Toyota on the lead here. You like seeing this good racing? Definitely tune in and watch these guys every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and soon to be on Sunday. Racing here on Sim Racing Media. They're back here at Auto Club tomorrow night in the Next Gen Series. See what those guys can do in the Cup cars. As Austin Smith has caught and passed Brandon Puffenbarger. Austin Smith stayed out to lap 55, so he should be good to go to the end. Puffenbarger might have been saving a little bit of fuel just so he could make it. But that gap to Daniel Honeycutt is still almost 4 seconds for Austin Smith. They've got to be hoping that Honeycutt's going to run out of fuel before he makes it to the end of the race. Like he probably had to save a couple laps. We'll see if that's the case here, as Truth Hoke is now behind him there as he makes his way around. See the gap between them. Puffenbarger, Todd Slauson, and Kinsley Smith are going to do battle pretty soon here as the 81 slides up the track. Daniel Honeycutt heads down pit lane and caution is out. Caution is out. The 81 machine of Carlos Victoria slid up the track and got into Kinsley Smith. See if we can get a different view here. On board with the 81. And that just ruined the 15's race there of Kinsley Smith. And the beneficiary of that caution any of the drivers who were a lap down. Looks like Andrew Teft is going to stay out and get the wave around. Like Aaron Marquis is going to get one of his laps back. Brendan Honeycutt's going to get a lap back. Dennis Kane looks like he came down 2 tires stop. He's going to come out in P2 here. See how these guys get stacked back up here. See what's going to happen with these cars that are behind the leader here. No Marquis, Honeycutt, and Teff should all get the wave around. Lights are out on the pace car. See if the other drivers are going to have to go to the back of the field here as they were behind the leader, get behind the lap cars here, and it looks like that's exactly what will happen. So front row is going to be Daniel Honeycutt and Dennis Kane, Austin Smith, Brandon Puffenbarger, Alex Teft. We'll be getting stacked up momentarily here. Alex Teft must have had an itch. His car almost went into that outside wall. Dennis Kane, Daniel Honeycutt on the front row. Alex Teft, Austin Smith in row 2. Todd Slauson and Brandon Puffenbarger in row 3. Ira Kohlhaas and Sean Dunaway back there in row 4. Sam Filippo and Ronnie Martin make up row number 5 as they get ready to turn them loose here. With 3 laps to go, will be 2 when we get the green flag. Daniel Honeycutt brings them into the Geico restart zone. He waits almost to the end before he gets going. Gets a little bump there from Austin Smith, and he is out front. Dennis Kane stays high as Smith goes to his inside. Side by side they go through turns 1. Almost 3 wide behind him with Ira Kohlhaas, Alex Teft, and Todd Slauson. Slauson slows down. Ira Kohlhaas is going sideways as they enter, and he's going to slide back up the track. Kinsley Smith, and we are under caution and we are going to have a green-white checker finish here. You see, go back and take a look here. You can see Ira Kohlhaas just start to lose it. He slides up the track. Everybody tries to avoid him, but then he turns down, and there's just no place that he can go there. Sends him back up the track. Kinsley Smith hits that right rear quarter, sends him spinning, and that is what is going to bring out the caution here. So there is definitely some damage there on that 29 machine, as he is all sorts of out of square. Look at how he has that steering wheel making it around the track. See how he's going to make it down pit lane. So we'll get a green-white checker here. Those of you guys that don't know rules of the green-white checker, we'll stack them up. They'll come to the line with 2 laps to go take the green flag. If we make it around one more time, leader takes that white flag. The next flag will end the race. They definitely want to get stacked up here and make it back to the white flag. Inslee Smith just got a couple bad luck, bad breaks there for that 15 ride. Looked like he was going to have a pretty good top 5 finish. Now he's mired back in the field here. We're going to stack him up. Austin Smith is going to be probably to the outside of the 72 Toyota of Daniel Honeycutt. I believe Daniel might be taking the inside lane. We'll see what happens. He's driving around the outside of it right now. But the question is, how much fuel does that 72 Toyota have? Daniel Honeycutt, Austin Smith. Gonna bring them on down. Dennis Kane and Brandon Puffenbarger are gonna be in row 2. Row 3, Todd Slauson and Alex Teff, Corey Kroll, and Sean Dunaway. Dennis Kane should be good to go. Daniel Honeycutt with the button as the pace car makes that left-hand turn. Austin Smith gets up close. And try and time that restart just right, and they are down and away almost at the very start of the race there. Looks like Austin Smith just did not time that right, stacked up that inside line. Not something you see out of that 23 machine. Dennis Kane is trying to get rolling here and get by Slauson and Austin Smith. Alex Teff went pretty quick as well, and they are sideways again. 20 a crawl. Everybody wrecking. I think that started with the 4. You see the 4 start to get a little loose here. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. See the 4 start to get a little loose. Tries to save it. Looks like the 82 gets into the wall. Sean Dunaway moves up the track as well. And that is just... the 4 just keeps spinning as well. Let's see if we can take a look on Corey's ride here. You can see that Dennis Kane gets loose. He's trying to get out of the way and gets just driven into that outside wall. Winds up backwards, and as he's spinning around, the Andrew Teff go by, and then he'll get a hard hit here. That's going to send him up into the air. And around Kroll goes. Looks like that was it. Didn't have an extra green-white checker, so Daniel Honeycutt's going to bring home the victory here after the big incident there on that last lap. Looks like Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith are going to finish second and third. So a well-timed caution allowed the 72 Toyota of Daniel Honeycutt to take the win here at Auto Club. Let's see if we can get some of our drivers up here in the chat. Hey, Austin, Mike up in the booth. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Mike. How are you?
Well, not too bad. Well, not exactly the way you guys wanted to finish the race, but heck of a run there from Auto Club.
Yeah, honestly, it's terrible. You know, lapped car just taking out Kensley and causing that last caution. Just bonehead moves, honestly. Kind of tired of it. Yeah, I had that race won if that thing would have went green, so just frustrating. And then, I tried to time that last restart, and I was going to jump the start and kind of messed everybody up. So I feel bad for everybody behind me, but I was just trying to do what I could.
Yeah, definitely kind of put you in a little box there trying to get to Daniel as he came out on the good side of that late race caution, but you ran a heck of a race there. Anyway, battled through. Like you said, you look like you had that race won, but we put this one in the rearview mirror. How do you feel as we move forward through the season here?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I'm always up front, seems like, so just got to string a couple of these good races together, pull out a win somewhere. Hoping maybe like mid-Ohio road course maybe is where I can get my win so I can get into the playoffs. So we'll see. Going on vacation tomorrow, so get my mind off racing for a while, and be back next week on Tuesday.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on a P3 finish. Anybody want to thank before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I just need to thank my team and always helping each other out, calling out where everybody is. And yes, biggest thank you to them and my family and everybody for tuning in, watching, cheering me on, and just you guys for putting on a great show.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats once again.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can get Brandon up here in the booth. Hey, Brandon, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Oh, not too bad.
Well, a heck of a race there for the for Auto Club here, but not exactly the way you guys wanted it to end. Looked like you were maybe trying to save fuel before that last caution came out. Is that kind of what was going on, or?
Yeah, I miscalculated fuel strategy for me and Daniel on that first go around. So we were just trying to stretch it out as far as we could from there. But yeah, I was like 3/4 to half throttle most part of that last run, just trying to make it.
Yeah, definitely looked like you guys were trying to figure out strategy there. Daniel came out on the right side of that late race incident, but you still wind up bringing home a P2. How do you feel as you head over to Charlotte next week?
Pretty good. I mean, I like this car more than, say, the truck or something, just because it has more power and it's easy to like wear tires and save tires, stuff like that. So It's a lot of fun with these guys. Just looking forward to the rest of the season.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2. Anybody you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
You guys for putting on the broadcast, as always. Everybody in the league, Andrew for putting this on. I know it's been a nightmare like the last 2 days with everything going on with iRacing. So that's about it.
Definitely, Matt. Well, congrats again, and I look forward to talking to you maybe later.
Sounds good.
All right, let's see if we can get race winner up here in the booth. Daniel, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you, Mike?
Well, not too bad. Well, you got a little lucky there on that late race caution. Came out right when you were going through pit lane. How was it racing out there tonight, though?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I always love Auto Club. Always really fast there. I don't know. I just find a little bit of speed that someone else can't seem to find. Yeah, I was a little worried. I knew everybody else behind me and Brandon and I think Todd could all make it. So I want to give a big shout out to Brandon Puffenbarger for giving me the correct strategy on that one and almost messing us both up for the win. But no, it played out. By the time I pitted, the caution came out right when I crossed the line, and I was like, well, I got to go play the lottery after that. So I got really lucky and was able to hold on and shuffle up to the front. So can't complain on that one.
Yeah, it definitely came out at the right time for you to get that all-important pit stop done. But you move forward here. You got your win. You're pretty much guaranteed to be in the chase. So how do you handle the rest of the season here?
Well, just try to get more wins as always, and you always want to run up front and just show everybody what you can do, and kind of just maintain and gain the points lead and get a good spot heading into the playoffs. This is back-to-back wins for Upfront Motorsport. Me and Brandon got one back-to-back weeks opening season, so it's pretty good for both of us, and there's a lot of momentum moving forward for our team and just working together really well. So, yeah.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your race win here. Anybody else you want to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
I just want to thank you, as always, putting this thing on. A lot of fun. Racers Elite, Andrew and all them. I want to thank my team for helping me as best as they could. Maybe it was a little spotty tonight, but we still work together and still make up time and work really well. And thank all the fans for tuning in. I got some new guys that I was introduced racing to, and I know that they're back home supporting me. So shout out to them and all that they do for me. So, yeah.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats. Go buy your lottery ticket, and we'll see you maybe next week.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So that will do it from Auto Club. Let's see if we can bring up the race results here. So Daniel Honeycutt with the win. Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith round out that top three. Todd Slauson and Joshua Neal comes back to get a top five there. Alex Teft, Andrew Teft, after being in the early race caution, gets a P7. Lee Campbell, Jeremy Carter, Brandon Sanfilippo round out that top 10. We got Brandon Honeycutt, Ira Kohlhaas, Michael Smith, Corey Kroll, Sean Dunaway, Kirby Wainscott, Ronnie Martin, Dennis Kane inside that top 18. Ricky Rowland Jr., Truth Hoke, Aaron Marquis, Chris Blasi, Kinsley Smith, Carlos Victoria round out the field. So with that being said, we wrap things up here at Auto Club. And we head to Charlotte at night for 105 laps next week. If you guys wanted more Racers Elite action, tune in here tomorrow for the Next Gen Series as they take on Auto Club as well. Heard that Austin Smith is going to be on vacation, so chance for a new winner in that series. So With that being said, from all the drivers of the Racers Elite Xfinity Series and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, just want to say good night, and I will see you next time.